I am back sharing 3 balance bowls. The full recipes for these bowls can be found in the description of the video. As with all of my balance bowls, the aim of these recipes are just to fuel your creativity, fuel your imagination, to hopefully get you motivated just to step into your kitchen and just create something for yourself this week. Even if it's like the smallest dish, it could just be one element from one bowl, but it will make all the difference. All of what I share is just about connecting with your food and fueling yourself from the inside out. So for more balanced bowl recipes, you can check out my ebook, which is called Balanced Bowls, along with all of my other recipe ebooks over on my website. Before we jump into the recipes, before I share some ideas with you and how to better yourself through cooking, I want to give you another option that could really improve your everyday life in how you feel by introducing you to this week's paid partnership from BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online platform that connects you with a credentialed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. If you've got that inner knowing, if you've got that feeling that you would benefit from therapy, you can click the link in my description, or you can head over to betterhelp.com/tishwonders. Finding the right therapist for you can sometimes be a little bit of a tricky task. It could be several things. Maybe you just don't connect with any therapists in your area, or it could be that face-to-face therapy just doesn't make you feel very comfortable and that an online setting would suit you better. This is where BetterHelp really shine. This is where they come through. So you might prefer to do your therapy session as a phone call, you might prefer a video chat, you might even prefer to do it via messages. It's all about what makes you feel comfortable and what suits you best. What you require from a therapist is going to be so personal. What I love about BetterHelp is that they get you to fill out this questionnaire. This questionnaire will help access your specific needs, and then you'll be matched with your therapist in most cases within 48 hours or less. In a situation where you are matched with a therapist that you don't really feel like it's the best fit, which is super common by the way, especially when starting therapy out, there are options. So you can choose to switch to a new therapist at no additional cost. If you'd like to check out BetterHelp, you can click the link in my description, or you can head over to www.betterhelp.com/tishwonders. The link that you click will give you 10% off your first month with BetterHelp. I just see it as there is nothing to lose. If you've been thinking about therapy, if it's been on your mind, it's something that you want to explore, definitely head over to the BetterHelp website and explore your options. Thank you once again to BetterHelp for teaming up with me on this video. Let's jump straight into these recipes. Let's go. So we're going to kick things off the way that we are supposed to. We are going to get started with this honey and mustard salmon, lemon and herb roasted potatoes, Zhoug green beans, olive and tomato salad bowl. Every element of this bowl is so flavor packed and really just kind of shines on its own. In particular, I love the Zhoug green beans. It's this deep, rich, spicy condiment that just goes so well with fish, with meat. Zhoug will bring anything to life. Ingredients include potatoes. We're going to make these like garlicky, herby, lemony potatoes, roast them. They're going to go so crunchy and so golden. So for the spicy Zhoug, the start of the show, we're going to be using spices like cardamom and cumin, and we're going to be adding in chilli and fresh coriander, extra virgin olive oil, lemon juice, garlic, all of it. Just listing the ingredients, I'm sure you can just envision how delicious Zhoug is if you've never tried it. So for this bowl, we're going to be combining the Zhoug with the green beans, but honestly, think outside the box. If you don't have green beans, maybe you've got some carrots lying around. Roasted carrots would be so good. Zhoug will go with absolutely anything. You just can't go wrong with an olive and tomato salad. So we're going to be combining some Kalamata olives. They're probably one of my favorite variety of olives, with juicy sweet cherry tomatoes. We're going to be throwing a little bit of red onion in there too. So for our very simple but effective honey and mustard salmon, we're going to combine the marinade ingredients, which includes some extra virgin olive oil. We're going to throw some honey in there along with some mustard, a splash of tamari, and a good squeeze of lime juice or lemon juice, whichever you prefer. So we're going to cover our salmon fillets, making sure every little bit is covered and seasoned well. If you want to, you can leave it overnight just to deepen the flavor, but if you want to cook it straight away, it will still be delicious. So when it comes to cooking the salmon, it will really vary depending on the type of salmon that you're using. I'm using wild salmon, so it takes literally like 7 minutes for these pieces to cook, but just make sure your salmon is thoroughly cooked. Can't go wrong with roasted potatoes, especially when you're pairing it with salmon and tomato and olive salad and Zhoug green beans. So for these potatoes, we are going to parboil them to begin in some salted water just to soften them up before they go in the oven. We're going to rinse the water, drain the water well. So I added in some sea salt, lots and lots of dried herbs, black pepper. I placed in some garlic powder, along with some lemon zest. The lemon zest will do something extra to these potatoes, trust me. Just drizzled with some good extra virgin olive oil and some whole garlic cloves skin on, and just combined everything, laying these potatoes out flat on a baking tray, making sure they're really flat so they all crisp up really well. I placed them in the oven until they were cooked and looking something golden like this. That garlic, herb and lemon combination, let me tell you. And then those whole garlic cloves just add a whole different layer of yumminess to these potatoes. So for our cherry tomato and olive salad, we're just gonna finely slice our red onion, placing them in a bowl with the cherry tomatoes and Kalamata olives, a good glug of extra virgin olive oil. We're just gonna place over some dried and fresh herbs, just mix everything. And you're really gonna get the saltiness from the olives, so you don't need to add more salt, but feel free to add more if you want to. Vibrant, delicious and simple. This is a great little side salad to complement this bowl. For this heavenly zhoug, we are going to prepare it really simple to do. You can make it up in a big batch. That's what I would recommend doing because it's so delicious. Once you taste it, you'll want to put it on everything. So we're going to place all of our ingredients into a food processor. I've never tried it in a blender, but I'm sure it would work just as well. So our fresh herbs, including parsley and coriander, along with the spices and some garlic, lemon juice, the jalapeno pepper, some extra virgin olive oil, and we're just gonna whiz everything until we get like a really deep, vibrant green sauce looking just like this. I chose to steam my green beans. Like I said, any vegetable, even roasted vegetables mixed with zhoug, will be so good. So I simply steamed the green beans, mixing them up with that zhoug. And I used a lot of zhoug because, as you can tell, I like zhoug a lot. So good, so yummy. It was then time to plate up this whole bowl. So we've got that honey and mustard salmon with that tomato and olive salad, those roasted lemon and herb potatoes, the zhoug green beans. I kind of grilled some lemon because I love like warm lemon juice, just squeezed over everything. And I added in a little bit of rocket, which is arugula if you're in the States. And yeah, just devoured this bowl. Honestly, it was finished very quickly. The next bowl is this roasted red pepper dip, flamed hispy cabbage with a hazelnut gremolata, which is just honestly one of my favorite things ever. Brown rice and egg bowl. I love the fact that you can just transform any meal, any dish with a really yummy dip. And with this dip, of course, you can make it up beforehand. This bowl will inspire you and give you ideas of maybe how to just, like prep in advance and just make things tasty in a really simple way. So for that roasted red pepper dip, of course, we're going to need some red peppers, and we're just going to roast them until they are sweet and just oozing with flavor. We're also going to be using some butter beans as well. Of course, you can make up like a hummus, a roasted red pepper hummus, but I love the way that butter beans work in this dip in particular, and it's just a bit different from like a classic hummus. Also going to be adding in some chilli, some rosemary. We're going to be using some cumin along with some other ingredients. So my choice for protein for this bowl are eggs. I'm going to soft boil my eggs, but you can hard boil, you can cook them any way that you want to. And yeah, we're going to be needing some brown rice as well because that's going to be like the base of this bowl. But to start, we are going to prepare this roasted red pepper dip by simply chopping up our peppers and removing the seeds and place them on a baking tray. So I like to keep the skins on for this dip. I know that some people would be like, no, you've got to remove the skins, but I actually like it in this dip. We're also going to put a whole bulb of garlic to roast. I want that garlic flavor within this dip without that raw garlic taste, if you know what I mean. So roasting it and bringing out the sweet tones of the garlic will make this dip perfect. So once the red peppers and the garlic bulb are cooked, the garlic bulb may take a little bit longer. We're going to remove and we are going to make the dip. So I grabbed my food processor. You could probably do it in a blender as well. And I placed in all of the ingredients, including the butter beans, the roasted red peppers, all of the spices which really just make this dip, the roasted garlic, some olive oil, some lemon juice, and I chopped up that rosemary to add in. So I blitzed up everything until it was smooth and had reached my desired consistency, and oh my goodness, this one right here was something else. If you're serving it sharing style, of course, go ahead and serve it up, make it look pretty. You can top it with some leftover butter beans and just throw some herbs on top and drizzle on some good extra virgin olive oil. For our flamed hispy cabbage and hazelnut gremolata, we're going to start by chopping up our cabbage. I'm using a pointed cabbage and I simply just chopped it into about 6 wedges, I believe. Just will vary depending on how big your cabbage is. So to soften the cabbage and just make sure that it's cooked, because the worst thing is like hard raw cabbage with the grilled lines. We want to steam our cabbage beforehand. So I just put my cabbage to steam and then I heated up my griddle pan with a little bit of oil and simply just cooked my cabbage on each side, making sure both sides had some good salt. A gremolata could be added to any dish, any recipe, just to enhance it. This has a little twist to it because we're going to be adding in some roasted hazelnuts. So to prepare the gremolata, I placed my roasted hazelnuts on a flat baking tray and just popped them into the oven. So I chopped up the fresh parsley and I placed it in a bowl, along with some finely chopped garlic, some lemon zest, sea salt, black pepper, olive oil, and lemon juice. Just mixing and combining everything. Wow. So once the hazelnuts had roasted and released all of their flavor, I simply just chopped them up and added them into the gremolata. So I chose to use some brown rice for this bowl. You can use any rice of choice or any grain, and you can go ahead and serve your bowl up. So we have that roasted red pepper dip, we have the flamed hispy cabbage with a hazelnut gremolata, brown rice topped with a soft boiled egg. You can do a hard boiled egg or any style of egg that you like. You can even fry an egg. This whole bowl, it looks very simple, and I feel like it is. If you do a few things in advance, it can be a really simple, delicious, beautiful, balanced meal. So this is my tuna, parmesan chickpeas, roasted sweet potato, salsa verde, kale and avocado bowl. This is probably the most simple bowl to piece together. I cannot get over those roasted parmesan chickpeas. Everyone loves roasted chickpeas, but add some parmesan to them. Unreal. Salsa verde is that type of condiment that you can honestly just add to everything. I love all of the individual elements of this bowl. This tuna recipe is a staple for my lunch and can be enjoyed in so many ways. Ingredients that we'll need for this bowl include some cooked chickpeas. I would really recommend getting like a tasty chickpea. It will make all the difference when you're roasting it. So for our parmesan chickpeas, of course, we're going to be needing some parmesan. If you want to omit the parmesan, you could probably add nutritional yeast if you want to keep it completely vegan. For our really speedy tuna component, we're going to be using some tinned tuna. We're also going to be adding in some yogurt. I love to use like a thick Greek yogurt. That's just my preference. If you want to keep it dairy-free, that's absolutely fine. We're going to be using some red onions, some dill, lots and lots of lemon juice, black pepper, olive oil, the usuals. Yeah, it's all going in. So for our salsa verde, we're going to be using some fresh herbs, including fresh basil and fresh parsley. We're also going to be needing some anchovies just for that kick, for that punch. We're going to be using some fresh garlic, lemon juice, chili flakes, and some capers. Other parts of this bowl include some roasted sweet potatoes, and we're also going to steam some kale as well. So starting with our roasted sweet potatoes, we're just going to begin by chopping up our sweet potatoes into cubes, into kind of like medium-sized cubes, I say, and then we're going to season them up. So you can place over some salt, some pepper. I added some cumin powder and a touch of cinnamon, along with a swirl of olive oil. I placed the sweet potatoes into a preheated oven of 200 degrees Celsius, and I left them in there for about 25 to 30 minutes. For our salsa verde, very simple. We're just going to grab a food processor and add all of our ingredients, including the fresh basil, parsley, shallots, garlic, anchovies, salt, pepper, chili flakes, lemon juice, and extra virgin olive oil. So we're going to blitz everything. I wouldn't say until smooth. I actually prefer like a texture to my salsa verde, but obviously that's just preference. But yeah, just blitz until you've reached your desired consistency. And if you do want it extra smooth, I would say use a blender. This vibrant green condiment is just in its own lane. I could just pour this over everything. It's incredible. So for our parmesan chickpeas, we're going to grab our cooked chickpeas. We're going to season with some salt, some dried herbs, some garlic powder, and then we're going to finely grate over that parmesan. I like quite a bit of parmesan. You can use as much or as little as as you want to. Like I said, if you want an alternative to Parmesan, you could try using nutritional yeast, although I haven't ever tried it myself, but I imagine it will work. And of course, we're going to be needing some extra virgin olive oil just to make sure everything gets crisped up in that oven. Look at me putting more Parmesan on, no surprise there. So place your chickpeas on a lined baking sheet, making sure they are fully flat so they get crispy, and place them into a 200-degree oven. You want to leave them in there for about 20 to 25 minutes until they are golden and looking something like this. This lunchtime tuna combo is just a winner, and it can be prepped. It's so great just to have prepped in your fridge. You can add it to a sandwich, you can add it to a wrap, you can add it to a bowl, you can literally add it to anything. Into a bowl, I'm going to combine some tuna along with some yogurt, some Dijon mustard, have to have Dijon mustard, some red onion, some dill, some black pepper and some salt, a good swirl of olive oil, and a good squeeze of lemon juice too. So just combine everything well. So here we have it, those golden sweet potatoes with those crispy Parmesan chickpeas, along with that tuna, that steamed kale, that salsa verde to top, and I've got some avocado on the side. Like I said, this is the easiest bowl. I love the combination of the crispy Parmesan chickpeas with that tuna, oh my goodness, and those roasted sweet potatoes with that hint of cinnamon. Delicious. So there we have it, 3 balanced bowls to make you feel good, to make you glow from the inside out. Let me know which bowl you will be trying out first, which element you love, which one you like the look of. Let me know in the comments. For recipes similar to these, you can check out my balanced bowl ebook. I will see you all in my next video. Everyone take care. See you. Bye.